We're talking just numbers here. Before I got started with you, and then also then with my time with you, if I've added everything up, I'm now clocking in at 80 pounds lost
Nice.
in my journey.
Before keto, what were some of the things that you were struggling with your fitness and with your physique and with your health?
Ooh, fitness would just be doing pretty much anything. Definitely had an office job, so I sat down a lot. That was, a little bit of a key contributor to that. And I gave myself too many excuses. As to why I couldn't be active. I didn't have the time. I was constantly on the go. So that meant then that, so many options then were, that were available were always going to be unhealthy. And there was no way that I could go around that. I constantly gave myself a reason as to why I couldn't be better than I was. When you and I then first started talking, I had already went through a couple months then of actually being on the ketogenic diet, but I had really just started then a journey of me, and that was a huge thing. I just recently turned 30 not too long ago, and for 30 years I can say then that I hadn't really focused then on just doing truly what was best for me. I started that journey back in July, met you in Thanksgiving, and I've continued it since then. So it's been crazy, but it's been well worth it.
And I know that was one of the things that we kind of talked about when we first started up, kind of the whole entire balance, seeing the whole picture, and basically like having that goal of where you want to be, and then figure out the plan to get there. I guess what was kind of going through your head like before we started working together?
First started talking to you, I felt like that I didn't know where to go. And I felt like that I was going to plateau. And one of my boys just says, "Hey man, I'm going to the gym. You want to come with me?" Yeah, sure. That'd be like once a month, and then I'd just do then what he was doing. I'd just mock that. But that's not serious training. That's not really, maintaining that discipline and putting yourself in a good position. And it was though. I realized that I was reaching a plateau and I needed to do something different. I needed to go ahead and ramp it up, but I didn't know where to go. Flat out, I didn't know where to go. It wasn't until you and I actually spoke on the phone. When you and I spoke on the phone, that's then when I started feeling better. When you took a personal vested interest in me, you realized then that, the way then to actually reach me was definitely understanding then that I had a lot more going on than just, technically my keto journey. You took a personal vested interest then in me, and you wanted to know then just more about me in general. What can we do then to make this a lifestyle? And you realized that also went then on a little bit more of a personal level. You and I definitely talked then about, my past, problems then that I had then with, my dad then being gone, problems that I had also had with my personal relationships, with my job, just everything in general. You realize then that I needed basically somebody then that wasn't just going to be a personal trainer, that you in every single aspect then was going to be a guide then for me. And it was going to be that guide that was going to go ahead and get me then past that plateau. I had to change more than just, the physical. I had to change a lot then of the mental. We started talking then about accountability, and that you were going to hold me accountable for everything it is then that I was doing, whether it was just simply tracking my macros, what it was then that I was eating, to where then we had a place to go ahead and reflect off of, tracking my workouts, things then in which we can do, like, hey, if life happens where you can't then make it to the gym, okay, well, what are you doing then in the process then of it? And it was about making it a lifestyle. It wasn't about, again, picking up then a new fad and just getting past a particular point. It was about implementing then a new lifestyle. And that's what was important then to me, because you realize then that it was so much more than the physical. And that's really then what I appreciated about you. That's what made me really trust in you and knew then that you were the right person that I should be working with.
And I know that you've been getting like a lot of looks from all the ladies out there. So aside from all the ladies trying to hit you up, what do you think has been the biggest improvement?
Biggest improvement in my life, undoubtedly, would be self confidence. When I walk into a room now, I don't feel threatened. I don't feel inferior to anybody now. I felt like a regular guy then trying to better himself because I no longer feel like that I'm unworthy. I've found a whole new sense of self worth, self value, and I've tapped into a whole new realm of confidence and well being that I've never had. In my 30 years of being on this, green earth, I've never had the kind of confidence in myself that I have now.
Where do you think you're trying to go next?
So goal weight was actually 185. But I will say this though, I'm not focused on the number then as much, at least as far as I guess maybe than my actual pounds than itself. I am looking a little bit more towards the shape, and I'm not going to lose the faith. And that's another thing then about the self confidence and that mentality. Then right then and there, I'm not going to let something like a number, you know, deviate me from staying on the path that I know then is working, that has gotten me results, that has gotten me this confidence, and that is putting me in a better place than I've ever been. I worked with the best, Charlie
Nice.
Diesel. Look him up.
Nice, nice. Oh yeah, man. So I mean, if you had to say something to someone out there who's thinking about starting up with Charlie Diesel, what would you say to them?
He's going to get you exactly where it is that you want to go because he realizes, again, that it's not just about changing your physical makeup. He understands then that there's a lot of things that are going on then in your life. There's a lot of things that are going to come up. He understands then that there's a mental aspect to it. That's by far. I mean, don't get me wrong. What you've done for me physically is great, but probably the mental aspect has probably meant even more to me because I have the confidence and I have the know-how now and I have the education to go ahead and continue then to push forward, continue then to reach out, to not be scared then to fail, and to continue to pick myself up and to continue to move forward.